World of YouTube. Terrible sight here. And I saved the best for last. Because, of course, if I gave you too much suspense in the first video, who knows what kind of response I would have got. But, no, in all seriousness, I wanted to share something because, now, as bizarre as the case that I just watched on this Unsolved Worcester, and this has got to do with Roland. Sorry, I can't remember his name too good. Clarkson. Now, oh man, someone commented on this video talking about, I could honestly say that's right, because, the police don't care about homeless. So, even a cop could have done it. It could be that could be the case sometimes, some cases, due to the fact that if a cop has a problem with a, homeless person all the time, and they're getting fed up with it or whatnot, or maybe said something about him or his family that the cop's family, wife, the homeless man did, I could see some grudge be held against whatever the case may be. But there are some, you gotta watch out for, though. And I say it all the time, because you know what? Alright, there are some homeless you gotta be aware of, and that would honestly be the case. And I'm not saying this man is. I mean, this guy was, of course, even from the place he's, stayed at, say so, the shelter, he was a good man. He was, he just had a bad drinking problem. But you gotta watch out, though, because there are people out there that are homeless, and they're homeless for a reason. And the ones, of course, I would, highly turn against, of course, and would be 100% why they're homeless, child molesters or rapists. The ones that can't get the job, the one that can't, live around kids, or the one that's labeled, right, as a sex offender or a serial rapist or a rapist, period. If you're into that desperation just to get your rocks off, and right, you get caught, convicted, and now you got a record, especially child molesters, and put them people near me on the street, because if they ask for money, it's like, beat it. So, I mean, yeah, it's tough to scope out the ones that are bad, that why they're homeless. But I'm not saying this guy was. I mean, it seems that this guy, well, that's something I did not, and I wanted to wait to put in. He had a wife. He had 3 kids. This guy was even in World War II. So give him a huge salute. But for some reason, when he got to Worcester, because he wasn't born in Worcester, he came out of, I think he might have been born in like Rhode Island or something. Right, I didn't mention this in the other video because I had to do a whole nother video on this, because you're going to see something that makes this friggin' case even more bizarre. But it got to the point where the wife got some type of court order to live, without him, but be together. She couldn't live with him. Then I think he takes an ad out in the paper stating, I'm not responsible for anybody's death, talking strange. And he even, put his name in the paper. Ronald J. Clarkson. Saying something about, I'm not responsible, this, or that. but something about death. So, this bizarre twist and change in this guy's life. But remember, right, he came out of a war era that, World War II, let alone World War I, there was a lot of crazy crap that happened in them wars that I would lead to honestly say that this man suffered a mental breakdown. So, he did have a good job when he came to Worcester. He was, I forget what the hell he did. Him and his wife had a good job. I forgot. I mean, you can watch the full episode if you want, but like I said, I had to back up this 3 times in this girl thing where these 2 girls were going to be convicted of murdering him. It's like, what the I think for the simple mere fact that one of them, probably both of them, but one of them being in a mental institution is why they targeted these girls. But lo and behold, the craziest thing about this, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, is this fire they say they started. and it even is right here. 728 Main Street. Now, if there's anybody that's lived in Worcester back in the, 73 and earlier that catches this video, I'm going to be asking you to explain something to me. Because I do have a good, view and a picture in my head of the streets of Worcester. I know a lot of places out there now due to the fact that I go out there and, do my door dashing. But when you see this, it's going to blow your mind. And it wouldn't be surprised maybe that if it was changed, I wouldn't be surprised, but when you have a main street, usually a main street is right in the center of town. So we'll get to that in a minute. But this guy, man, went through some crazy mental breakdown. You got a couple girls that are having them, and I'm sure while this guy, of course, started to get, drunk and fueled up, and his wife finally left him and remarried in, I believe, in 1964. She left him in 62 or 61 because she had enough. She couldn't deal with it no more. So here you, in the 60s, you have a man that obviously, right, is now a full-blown alcoholic. Can't control his drinking. Wife took the 2 kids and left. I think they might have 2 or 3 kids. And now, obviously, right, the law is having problems with him. And when he did get, as he lived at High Street, 46 or 48 High Street, which was a halfway house type thing, who knows, what led up to this, what he was doing, because at that street, when he got picked up that day, it talked about him being drunk, and he had to go to the tank and sleep it off. Bear with me, I'm losing words. What was I going to say? I lost some thought here, sorry. Being picked up drunk and then, sleeping it off. If this was a regular thing for him, who knows what he was doing? That's what I wanted to say. Who knows what he was doing that day to get picked up? It doesn't even say in the video, was he being loud, obnoxious? He was just, I don't know, stumbling around. Someone just, felt for his safety. Didn't say none of that. All it said is he was drunk behind this building he lived at. Cops came, picked him up, slammed him in the slammer, and he slept it off. 5 p.m. or 5:16 p.m. he left, and from that point on, from when he left, went to that canal thing, which is at Seven Hills Plaza in a gully. Because like they say, there was a place over there where all the bums would sleep, homeless would sleep, hobos back in the real early days. And, yeah, someone met his demise there. So, now you could just picture two girls coming out of nowhere. Of course, they got mental health issues, but picking up this 30-pound rock together and slamming it down on their head while the guy maybe was sleeping. I mean, you can't even tell even if the guy was awake, sleeping, yeah. If he knew his killer, if he didn't. But if he was that drunk, I mean, if he was already sobered up, who knows, maybe he ran and got another bottle of booze and then went to drink and then got more drunk and then fell asleep. So, you know, there's a lot of questions that have no answers. But of course, the law enforcement back in that day did not ask any other bums throughout that area that probably slept there. Asked, it's just so many questions that need to be answered. And I could think of like 100 more to friggin' be sitting there, but it would take too long. I mean, you gotta let your imagination run wild with this one. So, now we go back to the girls. And right, how one was acquitted. So, as curious as I was, of course, I want to know where 728 Main Street is. You know, there's a lot of spirits there, Roman. I would have loved it maybe if I could get to that place to do a thing to ask the spirits, what happened? Who caught the fire? Did you see something? But, and there's another one. I got to look into this. Because there was an alley that a body was found on Main Street, and it was in the 700s. And in that episode on this Worcester, Unsolved Worcester, and when I seen that, I immediately remembered that other address. So I got to go back, and I think I wrote it down. I hope I did. But I got to go back now to see where that was. Because a woman got murdered in an alley there. And if it is close to this, which, or maybe, but you ain't gonna believe this one, because I can't even say if it's close to this, but if that address does exist and that alley does exist, I want to see if this would maybe be something around it, because let's get to it. Lincoln Street. When you press in, 728 Main Street leads you straight to Lincoln Street. Lincoln Street ain't nowhere near Main Street. I want to say where Main Street is, Lincoln Street is like a good 10 to 15 minute with traffic drive from Main Street. Now what is the deal? This does bring you to a apartment complex. Even when you tap on to see photos here, whoever took the picture or whatever, it's there, it's dark, it looks gloomy, and it looks just friggin' straight out of a Twilight Zone TV episode. Bizarre. Insane. So, I don't know what this is, and I don't know if Lincoln Street might have been Main Street back in 73. That's why I want someone from Worcester from them days, if anybody is still here or even is lucky enough to watch this. But I do have, actually I forgot I took a picture of a friggin' map of Worcester of the 1800s, so bear with me on that. And I found this place, the, what is it? It's that there's a bunch of restaurants in a building in Worcester over by the Kelly Square. And it's got the donut homies that this guy's sponsoring. Mind you, I gotta start asking if people will sponsor me. But yeah, this in that restaurant, it's got a bunch of old maps, like 3 or 4 of them. So I was lucky enough to take a picture of one, but I gotta map that out and see if Main Street, if it has Main Street, and if it's still, where I see it. Anybody who knows Worcester, Main Street's down in the center there by going towards the Civic, no, not that, the Worcester Centrum, as I remember and call it. It's DCU Center, but used to be the Worcester Centrum. But in Lincoln Street is pretty much, you could say, across town. I mean, through traffic, it takes you like 8 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes just to get on that road. I'd say about 8 minutes through traffic, or 10 tops, not 15. So 8 to 10 minutes with traffic. So it's a distance away from Main Street. That's all that matters. But when you type it in Google Maps, it brings you right here to this little Booth Apartments. So I found this kind of strange. What's really going on out there? And why would they change Main Street if it was here into the center of town? I mean, yeah, that would be the only common sense, because Main Street, right, holds the city, the main courthouse. Usually Main Street would do that, and that's what Main Street is for when any city is, right, open up for operation. But for this to come up on the other side, on the outskirts of town, and this is just insane to be looking at this. Because it's putting in this address, but it's Lincoln Street. So that right there, with these 2 girls building, what other weird, and I cannot find anything about them 2 girls, because, yeah, maybe because of the fact that, they got their evidence that one was at the state hospital. But still, when an article comes out, and if you supposedly, got suspects, wouldn't that suspect be in the article? And then if, it needs clearing up later on, oh, they made a mistake, I would assume. But then again, if you're messing with mental patients, they ain't going to let you know nothing. Nothing. So this whole case, this whole friggin' story, like I said, this is the most craziest, bizarrest one that I've seen so far. And these are the ones you do not find if you open up, hey, missing persons or murders in Worcester. I've done a lot of searching for stuff to see cases, because I've always wanted to try, right, to go to a murder scene, talk to that spirit, and hopefully, if they're there, and get that question. Hopefully one day I do, because solving a case would be just one of them damn things, boy, I'd be honored to help talking to the spirit world. But, oh man, so I'm going to look at that old Worcester map, do my mapping, see if I can get anything up on Google, Google search of any old maps. But like I said, they do have a few of them in that building, so I got to get there and take rest of them pictures. Go figure, it was a busy day that day, and I took a picture. I was able to get that one picture. But when I came back out doing what I was doing, everybody's there looking at the damn wall, and they're in the way, and I didn't want to say, hey, get out of my way, I need pictures. So, they're all looking at all the pictures on the walls and everything. I was like, wow. So that place is known for that. So anyways, how bizarre is this case? It is just impulsively insane. Something to make you just want to, want more information and they don't have it and don't give it. Unbelievable. Until that next video, what do you think? What is this? What is this with this address? I won't even think, like I said, I gotta go find that other address in my other video to see if it will match up with any of this. Because, to find out, all this comes up. It's like, what are they hiding? Giving wrong addresses or whatnot, I don't know, but this is crazy. Was this once Main Street? Yep, got you thinking, boy. Gotta scratch your head. Be safe, take care, beware, everybody. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff still going on these days, boys, and it just don't look like it ain't getting any better. And hopefully justice prevails sometimes, hopefully, humanity will prevail and stop being inhumane. And, wow, just letting people go out, kill, and kill again. Sick world. Rape, murder, whatever. Sick. Out.